The Me Too movement has reshaped America's workplace, but in New Jersey, some feel major reforms are still very much needed. Critics have called the state's mostly male-dominated political culture toxic and have demanded solutions to the continuing problems of misogyny, harassment, and sexual assault. In fact, Julie Roginski, a former senior advisor to Phil Murphy's 2017 gubernatorial campaign, has publicly challenged the governor and the political establishment to take swift action and push for real changes that better protect women in the workplace, particularly in government and politics. Earlier this month, Governor Murphy apologized for the failure of his own campaign. He also recently announced his support for legislation that would better protect victims of sexual harassment.
It is not enough for us to say we stand for New Jersey's values if we do not take steps to turn those values into meaningful change. It is therefore our obligation to make sure our workforce is protected from harassment and feels safe and respected no matter where they work or who they work for.
Before the governor's announcement, I spoke with MetroFocus contributor and State of Affairs host Steve Adubato about the toxic atmosphere in Trenton and beyond. And I began our conversation by asking Steve, what's going on?
A lot. And for too long, it's been too silent. Julie Roginski, who you mentioned, triggered this as a leading consultant to the Murphy campaign in 2017, but this is not what you called it, the most toxic campaign she's ever worked in.
She did call it that, right?
Yeah, more than a couple of decades. But I want to do this. You and I have talked about this. We actually interviewed Julie Roginski on our program, State of Affairs, and this was, check this out. As you listen to Julie, the question is, how much has really changed?
This is not to diminish any experience that any man has had, but I don't think you guys really get what...
Do we have any idea what you're talking about?
You don't. I mean, you do intellectually, I think.
No, I'm talking about viscerally, at a human level.
Viscerally, you no more understand what I think we go through than I understand what people who are African Americans living in an oppressed society might believe, or other people who are not necessarily enfranchised to the extent that men are.
Wow.
She's right.
Yeah.
You know, we talk about it. You and I were saying right before we came in here, we need to listen more. But I'll say this, when Julie said that to us, it was before she said the Murphy campaign was very toxic. And again, this goes well beyond the Murphy campaign of 2017. And he does get credit, by the way, for apologizing. I wish he had been more precise and specific in the apology. But the fact is there's a serious problem in New Jersey and across the nation when it comes to a workplace culture in politics and government and related businesses that frankly puts women in a very uncomfortable and potentially dangerous position.
You know, and one of those things that have contributed to that problem is something you write about, non-disclosure agreements.
Yeah.
You know, and Julie, in fact, got together, set up a new organization, Lift Our Voices, that is calling for the elimination.
Gretchen Carlson from Fox.
Gretchen Carlson.
Because they had to sign them over there.
That's right, that's right. So,
they both work there, by the way. I want to clarify that.
So talk about that. Why are those so-called NDAs so relevant to this issue?
You know, you could talk to lawyers. Like Jack Ford can explain this better than most from a legal point of view as a legal expert. But I understand on some level why lawyers would tell you, you need a non-disclosure agreement. The problem in the Murphy campaign and other campaigns is that a lot of these women wanted to talk about what happened. They wanted to talk about their experience. But because they signed these, quote, non-disclosure agreements, otherwise known as a gag order, the governor was saying for the longest time publicly, you could talk about any sexual harassment or alleged sexual harassment, but we don't want you to give away proprietary information. Then these same women were getting letters from lawyers saying, you better keep your mouth shut. The governor, again, to his credit, came out publicly and said, those non-disclosure agreements are null and void. You could say whatever you want. My opinion, my thinking is it took too long to do that. These NDAs, non-disclosure agreements, these gag orders, legally I get it on some level, but from a public perception point of view and for transparency, it's a bad idea.
So, as you said, this goes beyond the Murphy campaign,
well beyond.
The Murphy administration. It even goes beyond Trenton. Where does it go in New Jersey?
So it's interesting. Credit to the Star Ledger and NJ.com, their website. They did a comprehensive analysis, Raf, talking to dozens of women about their experiences in government, politics, and related businesses. You've never been on something called the Chamber Trip.
I've never been.
This is no disrespect to the New Jersey State Chamber of Commerce. They do a good job for what they do. But that chamber ride was characterized where there's a lot of alcohol, there's men and women on traveling train from New Jersey to Washington, where things have happened over the decades that Men did not acknowledge publicly, did not say anything about publicly, but many women came out and said it's not a healthy situation. The League of Municipalities, the municipalities in New Jersey have a big convention in Atlantic City. No disrespect, you do a good job for what you do. But a lot of the women came out in that article and said, you have no idea what it's like to be at that convention.
I mean, in some cases, it went as far as rape outside of the convention.
Let's be
itself.
precise and specific.
Sure.
Katie Brennan brought a case, the charge of rape.
She worked for the governor
She was in the campaign.
in the campaign, yeah.
She charged that Al Alvarez, who was also a senior official in the campaign, sexually assaulted her, raped her. Part of the problem with that case, other than this horrific thing that allegedly happened that Katie said, was that no one could acknowledge or would acknowledge in the Murphy campaign who hired Al Alvarez, who gave him a job later in the Murphy administration. And the truth is, it should have been acted on more swiftly. Yes, due process has its place. But when a woman charges that she was raped, the sense of urgency has to be a lot greater by all men, not just in the Murphy campaign, but all of us.
Yeah, but it wasn't only Katie Brennan. What I'm saying is there's some women who anonymously told these two reporters who did that fantastic report
Yes.
that throughout the years of the League of Municipalities, and it's not, I should say, it parties around the League of Municipalities, there were assaults, including charges of rape. I mean, so this is serious business.
It's very serious business, but I also want to be clear, it doesn't even have to rise to that horrific level
Right.
of sexual assault and rape. It's just a culture and environment that, again, you and I have talked about this constantly. We just have to be more sensitive, more aware. We have to listen better. We have to be more empathetic. And the other part, I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but frankly, too many men in leadership positions without women being at that table is dangerous to begin with.
So we saw the governor apologize.
Yes, he did.
Has the governor, have legislators, has the League of Municipalities, has the Chamber of Commerce, have any of them come up with concrete solution strategies to begin to deal seriously with this situation?
Some have, and I'll be more specific. In the legislature, there is a special ad hoc committee chaired by Senator Loretta Weinberg, one of the senior members of the Senate. And women are coming forward. And actually, Julie Roginski's on that that panel, and also the
Senator Weinberg is the majority leader, right?
She's the majority leader in the Senate. Talking about women in leadership positions, no one holds Loretta Weinberg back from what she wants and needs to say. But also, the Lieutenant Governor, Sheila Oliver, testified. Others testified. All women, in front of an all-women panel, talked about their experiences. They recently had a public hearing. They're going to have several others. We need more of that. We need more sunlight, more transparency.
Has anything come out of that so far?
Senator Weinberg argues that she's not looking backward to blame any campaign, be it the governor or anyone else. She's looking forward to attempt to propose policies and procedures that will protect women and create a less toxic and, frankly, a healthier workplace environment in New Jersey government, politics, and related industries.
There's reason for optimism?
There's reason to believe that it's beyond the Me Too movement, and we are moving in a direction that things are going to change. We have a long way to go to make up for the horrendous things that have happened in the past to too many women.
All right, Steve. Well, thanks so much for joining us. It's always a pleasure talking to you.
Always, Raf.